All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video, and we got a fun one lined up for today. Don't worry, there's zero need for concern. I'm not switching over to Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm just going to be doing a product review for today. I saw a lot of videos on a product that just recently came out. Well, I say recently, it came out like 6 months ago at the time you're recording this video, on a new starter, a two-player starter set to teach people how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And what better person than myself, or people like me, than to learn how to play this game through something like this. Because, guys, if you stroll through the I think they're called Yu-Gi tubers. Is that right, guys? I've heard that somewhere. Some people in the Discord call them Yu-Gi tubers in the comment section. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of them are kind of saying like, hey, this doesn't really work. This isn't a very good one. Well, and hey, guys, these are the experts. If you want to know anything about Yu-Gi-Oh, listen to them. Because I have never played this game. I've never played it one time, and I decided, hey, this would be fun for content. That's all it is, guys. Don't worry. Like I said, no need for concern. I'm not changing games. But I was like, you know what? This would be fun for content because I am a TCG enthusiast. I love TCGs. I like to know how to play all of them. And it's just one of the, I can't explain it. I'm just someone, I guess because I'm a teacher, I always like to learn new things. It's just like part of it's part of the gig. You know what I mean? It just comes with the territory. So it's one of those things where it's like, oh, cool, I want to learn how to play. Oh, a new starter deck's out. Awesome. And then also, I feel like it also piggybacks perfectly off of what we've been talking about recently in One Piece with all these new starter decks coming out for ST 15 through 20. Now, back to what we were saying. I have kind of scrolled through to see what some of the YouTubers, the Yu-Gi-Oh! YouTubers, I think they're called Yu-Gi tubers, what they're saying about this product. And most of it has been kind of negative, but I'm not trying to be unfair. They have a reason to say what they said, and you'll have to watch each one of these if you actually want to know what they all said. I'm not breaking down everyone's video. I'm not reviewing their videos. I'm going to review the product as an absolute noob, okay? As someone who has never, ever played Yu-Gi-Oh! Just to have a little bit of fun. Okay, and I am sorry for those who just want to watch One Piece content. Don't worry, I release a One Piece video every single day still. That's never going to change. I just needed a little break today, a little shifting of gears. Needed to cleanse my palate a little bit, things like that. So let's do this, guys. Let's have fun. Let's review this really cool, interesting product, and then I'm going to give you guys my unbiased opinion on this. Real quick before we start. Number one, like I said, I've had to say it like 3 times because I don't want there to be any confusion. I'm not changing to Yu-Gi-Oh! I was not sponsored to do this video. I'm doing this just for fun because I'm someone who loves TCGs and I like to learn new things. I am staying with One Piece, okay? No need for concern there. Number 2, I'm not doing this video to attack another card game. Okay, that would be very low class. That's not what I'm trying to do. If your favorite game is Yu-Gi-Oh!, that's awesome. Good for you. You know what I mean? I have nothing against that. I'm just coming at this from I am going to be critical of the starter deck, but not towards like any players or fans or anything like that. Okay, sorry for like the 5-minute long intro, but I have to get those things out of the way up front. Okay, so let's do this. I did record a video of me unboxing the product, and let's talk about it. Okay, check out the awesome playmat in the background. Big shout out to Joey from Heart Pirates TCG. We did like a jersey swap, or the equivalent of that, with our playmats. See how he signed it up here? I gave him my playmat where I signed mine as well for him. So that's where I got this from. And this is like a very appropriate playmat to use, right? Because, for those who do not know, Joey used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! He was really good at Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay, now, let's get into this actual review. I have the volume off, 2x speed, just like we're doing my normal videos, guys, but we're going to be reviewing this product. All right, so first off, I have to say, and I'm gonna be talking over it. You can just watch in the background, pause where you need to if you need to read anything. As far as the quality of the product goes, like the cards and stuff, these are just normal Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. I got the decks right here. They came with this deck right here, and this was the XYZ deck. And then the other one, the white one here. See, okay, I got to pause. I already have to pause because I want to talk about this. This was the most important page right here. And then this was the Synchro deck. So there were Synchro and XYZ. And from what I understand from watching the other videos, they're called Xyz. Yeah, that was interesting. I don't really know. I guess they're just like trying to say XYZ as if it's a word, Xyz. I'm not sure. But whatever the case is, excuse me. The decks seem like they're very interesting. They're very well made. But this book right here, this is a 62-page comic book. Like, it's almost like a skit. It's scripted. It is a scripted duel where okay, sorry guys, you're not going to be able to see very well, But if you look on the, hang on, yeah, you're probably not going to be able to see at all, guys. But like, okay, so notice where the, whoops, where am I? Notice where the picture is. There's no way of seeing on this crappy camera I'm using, but there's a number at the bottom right of each picture, not the text frame of the actual picture itself. And there's a number on there, and everything is in the correct, you know, the correct order for you to go through this scripted duel. I'm going to say right now that that's not my favorite approach, just up front. Like, I would rather just get a rule book. I would rather you just be like, here's a rule book, and here's how you play the game, and have things like zones explained on there, have things like phases explained. And that's one thing I have to mention real quick that I do like about One Piece. If you look in the background of this image, don't look at the actual cards here. Notice where it says character zone, leader card, stage card. You can't, you know, I can't speak Japanese, but I know what these say. It says like it's refresh phase, draw phase. I think it's main phase. No, I missed something. Refresh. Oh, dawn, draw, main phase 1, end phase. Okay, that's what it says. Like if you can go further up on the screen. So that way, it's that's big, right? For picturing how to play this game, I want to see a board and I want to know what to do, right? And that's one thing I wish they had done for what we were just looking at. And by the way, I forgot to mention this is the product I'm talking about. Whoops. It's like it was $19 where I got as well, or $20 after tax. This is the product we're talking about. Sorry, guys, I kind of skipped that step. Okay, whoops, that's not. Here we go. Y'all weren't supposed to see that, guys. That was secret sauce for One Piece. I'm just kidding. It is something I'm working on. But here we go. This I liked because notice how it had rules on here. This is what happens when attack position characters attack other attack position characters versus defense and so on. And it talked about phases. It didn't really talk about zones, but maybe that's not a thing in Yu-Gi-Oh! You guys tell me. Because, again, I'm a totally new player. I can't stress that enough, guys. This was my first ever encounter with Yu-Gi-Oh! Never played it before. Okay, let me play through. Again, the actual quality of the product is good. Okay, let me pause here. So you start off the book, and notice this is where we're at. This is the very first page that I'm on in the background. And it's like, hey, is it time to duel? Because I'm here to teach you how. That approach for me was not my favorite. I don't read comic books. Sorry, guys. That's probably super taboo in the TCG industry, in the TCG world. I mean, I don't know if it is or not, but I just don't read comic books. And when it comes to this kind of approach, I didn't really care for it. Like I said, I'd rather you just give me a starter deck, and then I can just learn from there. Give me a play mat, like just a fold-out paper play mat, like what we saw in the One Piece one. It just shows all the zones and has little descriptions of what each one does in there. But I do understand that this is an old game. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a very old game, and it's very complicated. Okay? All right, cool. Like, this kind of stuff is what I want to see. All right, these are monsters. Here's spells and traps. Here's your deck. Here's your... See, this is what I need. I don't need you to walk me... I don't need you to hold my hand through the entire process. I just need to know, like, okay, what does each thing do? Oh, those are monsters. Okay, these are monsters. These are spells and traps down here. This is your deck. This is your graveyard. That's the information I need. And like what we saw in the last screen, let me... well, actually, we'll just get to it again. This is relevant, super relevant information. Here are the different icons you might see on your spell and trap cards. And one thing that I noticed... Let me see if I can go down. Perfect. Here we go. See, now you're talking my language. As someone who plays TCGs, now you're talking my language. Continuous, don't send these to the graveyard when you use them. They stay on the field and keep working. In my Magic mind, or One Piece mind, I'm thinking a continuous effect is basically like a stage in One Piece, or it's like an enchantment in Magic the Gathering. I like that. Equip, that's an equipment in... so that there's not really an equipment yet. You know, who knows how the future will be in One Piece. There's not really equipment in One Piece yet. Excuse me. But there is in Magic. There are usually artifacts that you can equip to a character, right? So I'm like, okay, now we're talking. This is good stuff, okay? Quick play, that's like an instant cast or a counter in, you know, it's kind of like a counter in One Piece, and it's like an instant cast spell in Magic the Gathering. This is great. Now we're talking like generic terms. Hang on, wait, I gotta go back a little bit. Sorry, guys. I want to see what it said right there. At the very bottom, it had these other things that it didn't even explain. Ritual, counter. Okay, counter. Now, that started to confuse me because when I was thinking counters for One Piece, maybe not the same. Counter and field cards also exist but aren't included in these decks. Okay, if I'm thinking of a field card, that's probably something similar to continuous where it stays on the field. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. I have no idea. It's not super relevant for right now, but I'm just saying. Ritual, I have no idea what they're talking about here. Counter, that sounds like a counter spell in Magic the Gathering. So why is that not just an instant, or excuse me, a quick play is what it's called in this game. Actually, let me read quick play. These spells can be used from your hand at any point during your turn, not just in your main phase. You can also set them, then activate them on any following turn like a trap. Well, is that close to the counter? You see what I'm saying? So there is some confusion when they leave it ambiguous like this, where it's like, oh, hey, there's also counters, but we're not going to tell you about it. That I'm not a big fan of. Now, I understand, guys. Let me get this out of the way as well. I can look up the comprehensive rules book anytime I need to. Not a big deal. I'm just saying it'd be nice if they had that in your little learning rule book. Yeah, that seems like it'd be pertinent information, right? Okay, and again, there's a lot of text, guys. Look at this, guys. Like the entire. All right, and here we go. Board state. That's always good to see. I'm okay with little examples like this. That does help me know how certain situations are going to go. Like for example, this one taught me about. I think it's like a sort of blinding light. I got it in here somewhere, guys. I'm sorry. Let me see. No, it's not this deck. It's the other one. I think it was called Sword of Blinding Light or something like that. I did shuffle these, so now it's really hard to find them all. Sword of Revealing Light. And that's another thing I have to mention, too. Sorry, guys. I almost forgot. Notice what it says right here. Kind of hard to see it. We'll look at it better when we get to that part of the video. You're not supposed to shuffle these, and I didn't. I followed the rules to the T, and I learned how to play that way. And I will say this. I do feel like I learned how to play the game, at least to some extent. I'm not saying I'm like a pro at the game or anything, but it at least taught me the basics on how to play the game. So that part, it did do well. I have to give credit where it's due. I didn't really care for the format, having to read a 62-page book, but at the same time, it at least kind of gave me an interesting an idea of how certain cards work. Okay, especially the tuner cards. That was extremely confusing. There were these cards called tuner cards that were just extremely, extremely confusing to me, and I wish there was more time spent on understanding that. Or use to explain it. Okay, I learned about the stars at the top. That was very interesting. And let's see if I can remember off the top of my head. If it is 4 stars or less, you can just play it from your hand. You only play one card a turn, or one monster a turn. And then, and by the way, that's another thing I have to mention too. Monster, I like that. Okay, that's a character in One Piece, or it's a creature in Magic. So okay, now I like when the terms are very universal like that. But some of this other stuff, it gets really confusing. I kind of lost my track there. We were talking about characters. Oh, so you can summon one of these monsters a turn, right? You summon one monster a turn, and then there was a way where like you can ritual summon a 5 or 6 power or 5 or 6 star character by ritual, or excuse me, by sacrificing that one to play out the. I said that, I messed it up so bad. Hang on. If you have a character. See what I'm doing? I'm like mixing all these games up. Bear with me. If you have a monster in play that is 4 stars or less, you can sacrifice that to ritual summon a 5 to 6 star monster. I keep wanting to call it character. Sorry, guys. That's the One Piece brain in me, which is interesting. And then for a 7 or more, I think you needed 2 characters to ritual sacrifice or summon or whatever it's called. Okay, that part became very clear to me in what we were doing. But then we started getting into the other sides. Okay, so let me pause this. So check it out. Stop. Don't shuffle this deck. The enclosed comic book walks you and a friend. I just did it by myself, by the way. Walks you and a friend through a scripted duel. So don't change the order of these cards before you start. Take the 4 bottom cards with the white cards and set them to the side. The bottom card of your deck should now be the purple card back to the front. Then place the rest, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm just kind of showing off the cards now. I'm going to talk over it. I'm going to kind of talk about each card too. So the extra deck in this game was extremely confusing. How we have, okay, so these are white cards. Let me pause it on like a better angle. I can't get it right. I'm moving too fast. There we go. Close enough. So that's the white version one. And over here we're going to look at in a second is there are these black border cards as well. And they all go in your sideboard, and they all have different conditions in which you can summon them, right? Or, yeah, I think ritual summon is what they're called, right? Or play them, however you want to say that. And that's where it got really, really confusing to me. And then after talking to my Discord about it, because they were kind of walking me through a little bit, I'm like, wait, so there's not just the Synchro and the Xyz? And they're like, no, there's also, okay, I can't remember them all, but they said there were many others. Not Tuner, Pendulum or something like that. There's like Pendulum, Fusion, and a few others. Again, I'm trying to just remember this off the top of my head, guys. I'm a total noob. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Help me out in the comment section below if you know. That, for me, is an issue, especially as a new player. And we're going to talk about how small this font is in a minute. That is outrageous. But as far as, like, okay, if I'm a new player entering into this game and I am learning through, these little decks that they give you, in this little walkthrough book, and, okay, now I hop into a real game against someone. If they're not playing a Synchro or an Xyz card in their sideboard, or excuse me, their extra deck, I have no idea what's going on. You know what I mean? It's just, I feel like it's so overwhelming in that regard for a new player to get into. And then when you get into, like I said, with the text, look at the text at the bottom of the screen, guys. I'm sorry, this little like bar's in the way. It is easy to follow if you want to read that much. And I do need glasses, like seeing up close. I can see up close pretty well, so I'm like reading these like literally. I've got the card in front of me like this. I'm reading the card like, okay, where I can read it. But at the same time, that is a lot of reading. And it was hard for me to wrap my mind around as a newer player. It's like, wait a minute, and this is just one card, and there's 30 years worth of cards, or 25 years worth of cards to catch up on. Is it only 20? I'm sorry, guys. When did this game come out? Guys, I don't even know when Yu-Gi-Oh came out. I think it came out in like 2000, somewhere around the 2000s. I'm going to bring it up on the side just so I know and I don't keep sounding stupid. Some people are like, yeah, you always sound stupid, bud. Sorry. Yu-Gi-Oh start date. Let me see. Okay, when did Yu-Gi-Oh come out? When did Yu-Gi-Oh come out? It came out in 2002. Or, excuse me, Konami in 99 in Japan, and then in 2002 in North America. So this game has been out for almost 25 years, like I said. And pretty much has been. It's just, America's just a little behind that. So I have to catch up with 25 years of cards. And from what I understand, they don't have rotating formats. So it's like, okay, it's already going to be hard enough for me to pick up all of these different type of extra deck effects or whatever. You have these pendulum things, these, the Synchro and the Xyz didn't seem too bad, and I'm sure the others aren't too bad once you learn them, once you know them all. But like I said, it is extremely, it's like a daunting, hard task to pick up on, guys. All right, let's keep going through this. Sorry, I've been pausing a lot. How are we doing on time? Okay, approaching 20 minutes. Okay, so there's two different decks. There's like it's like a silver and a black, or like a gray and a black. The gray one is what we're looking at right now. It is the Synchro deck. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to get the camera to focus. Nice, there we go. And then the black one is the the Xyz deck, if I'm saying that properly, XYZ. Okay, I'm just kind of showing off the cards now. This is nothing special. This is just in case you haven't seen these cards. Hey, again, the quality of these cards is outstanding. This is a well-known company, a well-known TCG. But some other things I have to talk about while we're looking at these cards. So I had a problem with how small the font was, and from what I understand, I did watch the Tolarian video where I think it's Team APS talking to Tolarian, which is a Magic the Gathering YouTuber, and he had pretty much all the same complaints I had, where it's like, wait a minute, the font is so small. And see, look at this. I like that. Look, I'm sorry, it's all blurry. Notice there's almost no font on that card. I like that. Okay, let's have a quick, short read, and now we know what the card does. You know what I mean? But some of these cards, like we kind of already passed one, unfortunately. We'll see if another one pops up. Like, that's getting, like, as far as I want to read right there. But then you look at some of these really, really crazy cards, and it just fills up. Like this one's starting to fill up the entire thing down there. Like, let's make the picture smaller, make the font bigger, please. Something like that. The pictures are really nice, though. It's a very interesting style. I really like that Dark Hole card. Looks cool. I also like it because it's like a board wipe. Okay. And again, I'm just kind of showing off. Like, look at this one, guys. That's a small book. You know what I mean? That's like I'm being facetious, of course. I'm being hyperbolic. But that's a lot to read on a card. And that's just one card. There are all these other cards. Sorry, I kind of got lost off track there. But that's something I didn't really like. The other thing that was awful for me to experience was like, wait a minute, so if I did want to get into this game, the sleeves that I have don't fit these cards. I know that might be petty for some people, but understand I have like over 1,000 sleeves, you know what I mean? And most of them are the same color. All right, so now we're checking out the XYZ deck, or Xyz. I liked this one better, personally. I really liked that card because it had like a built-in board wipe. That card was sweet, man. That thing was really cool. I don't know if that's really good in Yu-Gi-Oh or not because I don't play the game, but this card seemed like insane. Yeah, let me pause it. Okay, This was like, all right, once per turn, let me see. By using one XYZ monster you control as material, transfer its materials to this card, quick effect. Okay, you can detach 2 materials from this card. Send all other cards from the field to the graveyard once per turn, and if another card you control is destroyed by battle or an opponent's card effect, you can attach 1 card from your hand, deck, or extra deck to this card as material. That seems really good. And again, I'm not a Yu-Gi-Oh player. Maybe this card's trash. You guys tell me in the comment section below. But that seems really, really good. Because now, first of all, you can put these cards, you know, from your... Okay, if I have a good understanding of the game, and I learned some of this from the rulebook, guys. Like I said, I've learned this from the rulebook. It seemed like there were interactions where it's like, okay, so you're telling me if that effect happens where I can put a card from my extra deck into this card as material, and then I can trash it through whatever means, like maybe through using this character's effect, getting it into my trash... or my graveyard, sorry guys, I might be able to special summon it now through other means. And that seems really, really strong in every way, shape, and form. And y'all correct me if I'm off on that, but I think I'm onto something. Again, it's just from what I picked up from the book and just having a lot of years of TCG experience. Those seemed like combos that they were working towards. But yeah, this card, number one, it looked incredible. I will say this art, being an art guy, I really liked the art on this card. It looked really good. All right, let's keep going. These effects are all really cool. I'm gonna go through the deck real quick like I did with the white cards. And all these... One thing I noticed on Talarian's video as well is, like, did y'all see how many stars were on that last card, the Zeus card? Like, am I supposed to count every one of them? It was kind of silly, I will say. All right, 2 level 4 monsters to get this guy into play. Good stuff here. This all seemed very beginner-friendly and very basic, I will say. The fusion stuff... Or not fusion, excuse me. What was it called? XYZ summoning or whatever. 2 level 3 monsters. Okay. Yeah, that's making sense to me. Sorry, guys. I should have zoomed out first. And now I'm just going to go through all the cards in the deck. I have no idea if any of these cards are legal in Standard because I think they have, if I'm not mistaken, I think they have a ban list in Yu-Gi-Oh! Very cool, very fun. Really cool art on some of these. Like I said, I was surprised. I hadn't seen many of these cards. Some of them I remember just from years and years. Like Book of the Moon, I remember that. Mystical Typhoon or whatever that was. That one I remember. Dark Magician Girl, that's a classic. I feel like everyone knows that card. I don't know that one. This card seemed busted, like when they were walking you through. And so this, I really liked this card too. If only your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. So then it doesn't take up your 1 summon for the turn, right? At least that's... I think I got that from this book right here, guys. If I say anything wrong, just blame the book. Don't blame me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm trying to be fair. I'm trying to be very fair. And it was this was a really cool card because it kind of lets you cheat the card into play. And he's a 2100 5-star, you know, and you could cheat him into play if only your opponent controls a monster, you can special summon this one for the turn. Something like that. Maybe it didn't... I can't remember, like I said, if you can summon another one or if this counted as that normal summon. Because this is a special summon, not a normal summon. Something like that. Help me out, guys. Help me out in the comment section below. Really cool card, though. That card seemed very confusing to me, the Haunted one. No entry. I really like that one. And Dark Magician, this is a classic. Of course, I remember this one. And Blue Eyes White Dragon. And I have to say that, too, guys. All right, hear me out. If you're going to try to get some new players into the game, you have to have the iconic cards in the deck in some way, shape, or form. Dark Magician was a good call. That's a card I can even remember, and I never watched Yu-Gi-Oh! As a kid. I never played it, but you hear people talk about it. You see the card online in random places. It's like the poster boy of this game. And then one other card, Blue Eyes White Dragon. I'm like, where is my Blue Eyes White Dragon in here? Y'all couldn't find a way to put that in the deck? It doesn't matter if it's good or not, right? Like, that's not the point. It's about enticing new players. It's about attracting new players into the game, and I would fall into that category. It's like, okay, well, how do we entice these new players to play the game? And I'll give a summary towards the end, guys. Don't worry. Okay, just going through the rest of them. This thing's almost over. Don't worry, guys. We're almost done. We're almost done with the torture. Don't worry. And I tried to keep it in order just so you guys could see this. Everything was meant to be in a very specific order. Notice the sweaty hands there, guys. Well, it's not like I can sleeve these because I don't have any Yu-Gi-Oh! Sleeves. That is another thing that kept me out of this game in the beginning when I first started messing around with TCGs years and years ago, back with Magic the Gathering, to be honest. Vanguard and Yu-Gi-Oh! Use different sleeves. Like, they're not the standard MTG, Pokemon, one-piece sleeves, okay? They're just not. I don't know why. And I don't know the logic behind that, but I think that all TCGs should start using the same size cards so we can all just share sleeves across multiple games, and that would get players like me to maybe play around with these more often. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. especially when I think, like I said, y'all tell me if there's other games in the comment section below. But other than Yu-Gi-Oh and Vanguard, is there any other TCG that uses these little tiny sleeves? These weird, they're like square sleeves almost. I can't really explain. I don't have a yeah. I just brought these over for the video. I don't have a One Piece card like nearby that I can snag and show y'all on my desk. But like they're not the same size. They're a different size sleeve. So yeah. Anyway, as far as the product goes, I have to say this. Now, so let's review the product itself. Let's be a little bit critical here and let's talk about it. Let me go back to the page where it's up. Where is this? Yeah, this is the, whoops. I don't know what I just hit. I hit back and forth. There we go. This product, as you see on the screen here, I do feel like it taught me how to play Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm just being honest. Like again, I don't know anything about any of the special stuff that I wasn't told about. Like I think it's called fusion summoning. One I remember is called pendulum, something like that. I don't know anything about those other side deck, extra deck summons. I don't know anything about them. I'm totally clueless. But as far as like if you give me the basic cards that I know about now, you know, like let me like literally even if we get past the extra deck stuff and we just move to the cards within the deck, you know, like okay, I know now that these spell cards, the teal's the spells. I know the orange card here is like something to do with effect cards. The yellow are normal cards, and the purple are trap cards. That I liked. I'm not sure. How do I say this? I wish that Yu-Gi-Oh would have just chosen one type of card from your extra deck. Like, and I think they should have chose the black one here because I think it looks so sick. Hang on, where's my camera at? I really like the way this one looks. And then since the text part, okay, you're never gonna be able to see that on here. Let me bring it back up on the video. Like, since the text part is so important to how to summon the monster. Sorry, guys, 1 second. All right, we'll use these white cards. That's fine. Why not just have on here the things that are needed and all keep them the same color and go from it that way? And maybe that's a bad question. I'm not, you know, y'all be nice to me in the comment section below, guys. I'm way outside of my comfort zone doing this, right? Like, this is not my game, and I'm not trying to start any drama with it. I'm just telling y'all what I think. I wish there was just, like, you had your extra deck, and then it just had whatever this is down here, and that's all you needed to know. Why does each one have to be different colors? Or maybe, I don't know, maybe it does have something to do with what do you call it, like bounce or something like that? I don't know. I can't speak on it because I have no understanding of it. But as far as like, I want to go to the black cards, man, because those were my favorite easily. Here it is. All right, let me zoom in on this guy. This card right here, Divine Arsenal AA Zeus Sky Thunder, just awesome. And I'm going to zoom in on it. All right, let me go back 10. There we go. Perfect. This card was really cool. All right, let me wrap up, guys, because I am just rambling at this point. Here's what I'm going to say. My problems with this new set was it was too much reading, and I feel like all I needed, I kind of showed it in the video. All I need are the rules. Let me go to the actual rules part of it, like this. Okay, see, I was showing 62 pages. Notice right here where it shows all the positions and attacking. That's all that I really needed, to be honest. And this right here, each turn, here's your phases. Okay, perfect. What are my zones? And what are the colors that I need to know about? Like, okay, the purple were the trap cards. The teal or green or whatever that was, like that light aquamarine blue or seafoam, whatever it was. Here we go. Spells were that teal color. Traps were the purple color. Effect monsters are orange. Yellow monsters are just regular. We would call those like vanilla characters in most games. That's probably what they call them in Yu-Gi-Oh too. And then we have these, well, this one doesn't even show the side deck, but in the side deck are special monsters. It seemed like they were trying to do too much to me. So that was the first thing, is I wish this rule book was actually just straight up more simple. But I will say, like I was saying earlier, I do think I learned how to play the game. Okay, for what it's worth, I know how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! I can follow along now. I might not know what every single card does. Obviously, there's no way I can know that. But, you know, I can follow along now. Number two, and now I'm going to start, you know, saying Yu-Gi-Oh! In general, there was a little bit too much text on me for some of the cards. I don't like the fact that there was also these off-sized cards where I can't sleeve them now. Like, they don't fit in my regular sleeves. I also am not a huge fan of, like, the way, how do I say it, the extra deck. I know I keep saying that. The extra deck just is, it's a foreign concept to me now. Because at first I thought, oh, cool, I know what the synchros do, and I know what the XYZ ones do. And then my Discord, they didn't mean anything by it. They weren't trying to, like, be negative. They were just like, well, that's just a few of the different cards from your sideboard. And I'm like, oh, what are the other ones? They're like, well, there's Fusion, there's, and like I said, the only two I can remember are Pendulum and Fusion. There might be a few others, I just don't know them. That was a little much. That was a little much for me to take in. And I'm also really not a huge fan of how there are not formats in the game. Like, why is there, like, I mean, actually, maybe there are formats, by the way. I'm just not aware of them. But this idea, now this one, it didn't say this in the rule book, but from what I've been told, there's just a ban/restricted list for this game. And then everything else is good to go over the past 30 years. And as a new player, that's like impossible to understand. Like, not impossible, but that is so overwhelming that I'm just like, oh, I'm just not even interested. And I understand that's, that's a new player problem. I get it. But I'm someone who, I love learning about all these new cards. But if I have to go 30 years back to learn some of these cards, I understand there's reprints and stuff. I'm not trying to be too technical. Please don't take any of this the wrong way. That's a lot for me, though. That's a lot, because if I wanted to get back into Magic the Gathering Standard, okay, Modern is a different animal, Commander's a different animal. If I wanted to get back into Magic the Gathering Standard right now, they're on 2-year blocks, right? Like, so every 2 years, a new block is kind of like in the process of being formed, and they get rid of what's after that, or excuse me, what came before then, and now we're part of the new block. Like, when I got into the game, we were on the Time Spiral Lorwyn block, and then I played all the way through past the Innistrad block and whatever. But if I wanted to come to the game right now, there's only so many blocks I have to worry about back. Only about 2 years worth of cards to pick up. Yes, that is still a daunting task, but that's nothing compared to 25 years of research that I'd have to do and to like learn all these different cards and all these different things. But yeah, so that's about it, guys. Again, I'm not trying to be too negative. I thought this was really cool, a really interesting game. I am not someone who like hates different games because of certain, how do you say it? Because of like people saying things like, oh, Yu-Gi-Oh's this or Yu-Gi-Oh's that, or oh, Pokemon's this, Magic's this, Flesh and Blood's this or that. I give every game a chance, and I love learning new things. And I will say, guys, as a final summary, I do think this taught me how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! I know people are probably laughing like, dude, you have no idea the depths of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I agree with you. But as far as like a start goes, this was kind of decent. The only thing I did not like about this book in particular was the fact that there was no... there was no way around doing reading all 62 pages. I felt like I had to read all 62 pages, and I would have rather just had a rule book that said, okay, just somehow simplify it. I don't know how else to say it. I just feel like it wasn't as simple. And then also there were a few cards that asked for tokens, and I didn't realize until afterwards that the tokens are down here. They're these little tiny, like, look, this is my finger, guys. You see this is how big my finger is. These are these little tokens they wanted me to use, but at the same time, it didn't matter to me. Let me show you which one it was. It was in this white deck, the XYZ or the gray one or whatever. It was called like Scapegoat or Scapegoat. This card right here, I just put 4 dice on it, so that way I knew it came with 4 of them. And the same thing, there was like a little data card. I just used the card as if it was a character, or excuse me, a character. That's One Piece talk, a monster. But yeah, other than that, I felt like it was okay, especially for being just a $20 product. I don't feel like it was a total waste of money. And after watching some of the other, I think, like I said, I think they're called Yugi tubers, the Yu-Gi-Oh YouTubers. Let me go back to them. I see where they're all coming from now. Like, because at first I watched a lot of their stuff to see how they felt, and I kind of understand the sentiment. Like, see this one, why did Konami make this product? I would have much rather just been a one-player product because, hey, that's how I used it, and that way I learned. I did still learn the game in that way, though. There was a lot of different criticism, and a lot of it seemed kind of negative. And again, I'm never trying to be unfair. Someone correct if I'm wrong on that. Like this one, it didn't work. I like this was one that I watched by Team APS. I really liked these guys, and I kind of saw them through the Talarian's server, the Magic the Gathering YouTuber as well. I saw them through there, and then I think I watched this one by Simply Unlucky, and I have to say, it was fun. Okay, I'll at least give it that. Did it? Was it incredible? Was it perfect? No, not really. But I kind of learned a little bit from it. All right, I'm just rambling, guys. I'm sorry. I can't stop rambling at this point. And I really want to hop into a game on the sim because that's like usually what I do at this point in my videos. And it's like, wait, I'm just going to end it because this video is way off the wall. All right, guys, I hope you all enjoyed. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Do not worry. Like I said, this is not going to be my standard video. I will be doing One Piece nonstop. This was just something fun to do, something off the wall, and something, that I wanted you guys to have fun with me on. Okay, big shout out to my Playmat supporters, guys. I need to add one more name to the list. Someone just joined. I forgot to add them to the list. And And then also to all the patrons, the VV Pirates patron page. Thank you guys so much. Y'all are helping me out in so many ways. Like I said, please do not forget to like and subscribe. If I missed anything, please help me out in the comment section below. Be nice. This was meant to be a chill, fun video. But if you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please put them down there as well. All right, we're done, guys. Till next time, peace.